Good morning from Los Angeles. It's Monday, January 14th. I'm Alyssa Corum here with Ed Carson, and we have your market update. Now, on today's show, we're going to be taking a look at Citigroup as well as Lululemon and Wingstop. But first, let's pivot our attention to the major indexes. We are down across the board, Ed. The NASDAQ leading the losses, down about 0.8%. We have the S&P 500 down 0.6%. And the Dow down about 0.5% off the lows here. But looking at the chart of the NASDAQ, some resistance at that 50-day line. Can you talk about that a little bit? Yeah,
I mean, we had some weak economic data out of China that raising concerns about the global economy. You know, NASDAQ has come up on its 50-day line. And this is the third straight day we've had sort of a morning pullback. And on Thursday, we ended up a little higher. Friday, we basically closed flat. So we'll see what, if that's okay. If in a short run, it actually could build some handles, allow some more stocks to sort of catch up and like, all right, finish off bases. Of course, the risk is that we hit resistance and then we head back south.
Right.
So, I mean, this is a key level. This is why it's a resistance level. It's not just, oh, here we are. It's just like a little marker. You know, like it really matters to see right now. It's pretty clear the market sees it as important. So if it can get above that, that'll be really nice. It doesn't have to today, but as long as it does in the not so far future, that'd be good.
That's right. And I think you've mentioned before on this show just the steep advance that we've had so far. It makes sense for a little bit of a breather to happen, but that 50-day, a key area for everyone to watch.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's take a look at Citigroup. Those shares about 3% higher right now, reversing up today after the earnings report came in mixed, a beat on earnings, but a revenue miss or unexpected revenue decline here of 1%, in part due to bond trading revenue. But bank stocks in general up now.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it's low expectations. I think we actually did a preview. It's like, don't have very high expectations for this group. I mean, Citigroup, it's like, actually, if you pulled it back, I mean, basically the stocks have been trending lower for almost a year. You know, there's been maybe concerns about the economy, concerns about the tight treasury yield spread. The relative strength line has been weaker for even longer. So yeah, they've rebounded some, but not really that much more than the market. You know, there's still a lot of concerns out there about the economy, yield spreads and such. So, you know, it's having a nice bounce here, but you know, bank stocks are damaged. They're way off their highs, and as our boss likes to say, bank stocks tend not to outperform for really long periods anyway.
Well, there's no clear buy point here, so we'll have to see it continue to repair if we expect a buy point anytime in the future.
And we are going to see lots of other bank earnings this week.
That's right. So we'll keep an eye on that group. And we also have a holiday quarter guidance from Lululemon that was raising its earnings forecast to $1.72 to $1.74 a share. For earnings revenue, it sees it in the range of 1.15 billion thereabouts. So positive news for Lululemon, stock up over 8%. Heavy volume here. It looks like it might finally be breaking the downtrend.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, maybe the raise was nice, but it wasn't like really sharply raised. So it's sort of interesting to see how much it's moved up. But given some of the bad news we've had from other retailers, you know, it's really nice to see this. Yeah, it's cleared over its 50-day line recently. It's moving. It's building a base. You know, so it actually tanked in early December in part because its holiday guidance was good, but just not good enough. I mean, given how much it had run up ahead of that point. So, you know, it'd be nice to see that continuing on. This is strong. This is an IBD 50 stock. This is, you know, a lot of retailers and restaurants are reporting this, you know, today or pre-announcing some numbers ahead of a big ICR conference that's starting today.
Right. So as far as getting in here, the traditional buy point not until that left side high, so it's about 13% from that level. I suppose if you have the more advanced strategy of buying gap ups perhaps. Maybe this one could be a potential name here, but that's if you're an aggressive trader.
That would have to be pretty aggressive, yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, let's check in with Wingstop. It pre-announced a couple of metrics for Q4 earnings. Same-store sales in the U.S. rising 6%, system-wide sales increasing some 15%, and it's hovering near a buy point, though down today.
Yeah, and this is another IBD 50 stock. It's another one that's reporting and presenting at the ICR conference. And yeah, it flirted with a 72.10 buy point on Friday, got just above it. Now it's sort of pulling back, and then today it's pulled back a little bit. It's sort of been fluctuating around that level. The relative strength line, it's at record highs. This stock is acting very well. There are a number of restaurants that are doing reasonably well, and this is definitely one of the most impressive out there. Strong, it seems like solid numbers. They don't have great, powerful growth, but it has solid growth.
Well, even with the solid growth, interesting to see the stock down over 1% today. So we'll have to keep an eye to see if it can reclaim that buy point. It's about 4% below the entry level right now.
Oh, okay.
And that's it, but be sure to subscribe to YouTube, because coming up, Ken and I on the 23rd will be doing an AMA and Ask Me Anything. So make sure you send in your questions to us ahead of time and subscribe on YouTube. You can check us out all across social. We have a presence on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in addition to YouTube. So make sure you're following and subscribing for all the latest. Thanks for watching, everyone, and make sure to head to investors.com throughout the trading session and after the close for the latest market news and analysis.